new revenue must be ensured.
Grabe, umpisa pa lang nitong pagdinig dito sa Supreme Court, tunog na agad itong si Solgen. Yan ang reason siguro kung bakit umalis yung dating si Minardo Guevara, kung bakit siya umalis. Kasi maalala ninyo yung last na hearing or oral arguments na nandun si Minardo Guevara, nasunog siya, bakit kanyo? Kasi ang hirap ipagtanggol. Halatado, kitang-kita mo naman yung ebidensya pero ang hirap ipagtanggol kaya siguro siya umalis at ito na ngayon, akala siguro ni Berberabe, "Uy, opportunity ko na ito, ako na yung bagong Solgen." Pero tignan ninyo, ang hirap niya talaga makasagot dito. Tunghayan natin.
Your Honor, that they submitted and also in our briefing, the certifications from the Bureau of Treasury, although not corresponding to specific dates, but
Minig pa
they
yung
have a
boto.
system of asking for certification on the available funds, and therefore they will have the information if they could already issue a SARO.
Because my understanding was for every SARO, like for example, there is a SARO that released 69 billion from SAGIP, that there is a corresponding certificate
SAGIP.
coming from the Bureau of Treasury. Am I correct?
Not one-to-one, Your Honor, if I may explain. When we ask DBM, so it's like
Galingan mo.
periodically, they have a system of asking the Bureau of Treasury for available funds, and they monitor it. They track the available funds, and when the agency requests DBM for the SARO, then they would know what is the available balance of certified by the Bureau of Treasury.
So you agree with me that the issuance of the SARO in 2024 started as early as February and March, coming from unprogrammed funds?
My understanding in the briefing yesterday was, I think the first disbursement was in May, if that is my recollection, and if I may ask my team for,
Wala ka pa nun
Your Honor. In 2024. Okay.
Okay. So looking at the certifications for 2024, as you mentioned, it is not really prior to every SARO, but it is aggregated. And
Yes.
looking at it, so flashed on the screen, and this is in Annex J of your compliance, for those that would want to examine it. By the way, I assume that the petitioners also got a copy of the compliances. Okay. Now for Annex J, so if you see
Dito
the
sila kumuha ng pera.
certifications here, it is mostly coming from PhilHealth, PDIC, Philippine Health, etc. And on the next page, again, there are dividend collections, etc., income from government deposits. But other than PhilHealth, the certifications coming from dividends started September, and the interest income started September, November, etc. Is this accurate? Because it's in your Annex J.
Yes.
I
yes.
suppose it is accurate.
Yes, Your Honor.
Then in September 17, 2024, there was 30 billion as a result of the upfront payment for the NAIA, Public-Private Partnership, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And there was canceled letter of credit also in September, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
And then importation duties, etc. Correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Would you know the total of these certifications?
I don't have the figure, Your Honor. I may.
Ito.
These
Ay,
certifications.
no? 30 billion. Ito ata yung binigay bayad ni Ramon Ang sa gobyerno, 30 billion. Saan kayo napunta yan?
I don't have the figure, Your Honor.
Total, these, etc. So in
Yes.
for the September Annex accurate. September, Phil in page
Ano,
again.
not to mention it. May 13, 2024, 20 billion. June 5, ang PDIC naman 30 billion. July 1, PhilHealth 30 billion. So that's August 14, third tranche ng grabe, PDIC 20 billion.
There are dividends, but did start.
Yes.
94 the upfront, correct? Number ones.
I don't have the figure, Your Honor. I may, if I may ask my team.
Parang
Yes,
ang
it will be
dali-dali lang ng
relevant
pera, no? Grabe. Ito
to
naman.
start the computations, unless you have it now. So kindly ask your team to
Ayan,
start.
dito sa rice importations, kakolect sila ng 5.4 billion. Rice importation, second quarter, 8.17 billion. 7 billion. Total ng saan kaya napunta yan?
The computations,
Nakakainis.
unless you have it now.
Pero hindi nyo pinagkukuha yung budget nila, yung kita, ayan, sa revenue sa rice importation, dinala nila sa Bureau of Treasury. Tapos, instead na ito po ay, kumbaga magagamit pa natin, nilagay nila sa program appropriations kung ano-ano project ko noong panlalagyan nila. So, wala tuloy yung, instead na mapakinabangan natin yan, as part ng proyekto yung talagang lehitimo or nandun sa GAA mismo, ay hindi, uutang pa tayo para may tustos pa tayo pang dagdag. So may kita na nga tayo, ginamit nila, binulsa nila, tas umutang tayo para yun yung dadalhin nila sa proyekto ko.
Do you want to borrow our AI agent to compute?
Your Honor, thank you for the patience.
Grabe.
In my document, it is 396
Yes.
billion 989 million 182,236.26.
So our expectation is that the total SARO coming from unprogrammed funds should match this Bureau of Treasury certification, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay, let's.
Wow.
We will see that later. But I noticed in the 2024 submissions, most of the certifications were from PhilHealth and PDIC under paragraph D, correct?
That is correct, Your Honor. And so that's
Yung gold, saan na kaya yun?
was telling us when they were briefing about the 2025 and 2026 that those will not be found.
Okay. Now, for 2025, it is a bit different because your submission is shorter. In other words, I only see 1, 2, 3 certifications.
Ano to?
One in November 3, the second November 18,
Government deposit,
and the last one November 18. Am I correct?
4.4
Correct, Your
billion.
Honor.
And this totals only 102
from
billion
investment.
277 million 458,303 and 18 centavos, correct?
Yan, magkano?
Correct, Your Honor.
So these are the
102
certifications for the releases of the SARO for 2025, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
So, noong 2024, 396 billion. 2025, 102 billion.
Can you tell us what was the earliest SARO in 2025?
Oo
May
nga, ba't di
I
nila
confer
nilagay?
with my team, Your Honor.
Masyado silang matipid nitong 2025 ah.
The earliest in 2025 was July,
Oh, di ba di nyo
Your
nilagay?
Honor.
Di nyo nilagay dito. November na agad to.
As in your presentation in Annex K, the procedure is that DBM wants to ensure
hideous.
that there is a excess revenue or new revenue before they release from unappropriated funds, correct?
correct, Your Honor.
And the certifications from the Bureau of Treasury only came in November, correct? But the SARO started to be released.
November.
SARO started to be released July, correct?
May I confer, Your Honor,
Yes.
with
May I
the
confirm,
DBM
may I confirm,
representative?
Lagi na lang ganun, grabe no. November 3,
Perhaps
November
the
18,
certifications were not complete,
Di kumpleto eh.
or
Nag-ingat na sila ng 2025. 2024 eh, dami. PhilHealth, PDIC, income tax ng rice importation, paldo. Kung siguro hindi bumaha, hindi natin malalaman ang grabe.
A DBM representative to explain the detail if it pleases the court.
Dapat pinapatawag dito si Amena Pangandaman eh. Saka si Ralph Recto.
The DBM representative is explaining that there was a certificate issued and that there was a superseded certification.
okay. Can you ask her to take the podium?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next to you.
Next week.
No,
I-
next to you.
Okay.
So
Next
you
week.
can advise her in case she violates her right against self-incrimination. Please go ahead. Can you introduce yourself and your position?
Your Honors, I am Attorney Andrea Celine Magtalas. I am Acting Assistant Secretary of the Department of Budget and Management.
Okay. Go ahead.
The BTR certification dated November 18, 2025 was actually superseded certifications issued dated May 14, 15, July 28, and November 3, 2025. So the first being May 14, Your Honor.
What do you mean superseded?
There
Bakit
was
wala
a
dyan sa kopya nyo?
subsequent
Kung May pa lang.
certification issued after the first four were issued.
Yes. Can I confirm with you the total amount in terms of certifications for 2025?
It is 257,458,303.18.
Okay. The conditions for the superseding can be covered in the memoranda to be submitted by the Solicitor General, but we would really appreciate if you submit to us even the superseded certifications.
nyo kahit
But I
superseded,
do note that the
kayo.
total of the certifications for the new or excess is 102 billion, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
For 2025, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. And for 2025, it is only non-tax revenues, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because in 2024, it was both tax and non-tax, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And in 2024, this was unique because ever since the beginning of time, but let me just say, from 2000, which is what we studied, it has always been non-tax revenues, correct?
Yes, Your
Only
Honor.
in 2024, there was an
Kaya nga.
addition of tax revenues.
Oo.
In the-
Excess tax,
In the
correct?
provision, Your Honor.
Yes.
Tignan ninyo. Tama. Yan, pinunan ni Justice Marvic Leonen. Tingnan ni tax 2024. But by provision, hindi yan ni dapat kasama yung tax eh.
Okay. Health, but other than PhilHealth,
Interest income. Hindi yan.
certificate.
Team?
Ano ito oh?
Yes.
Tax duties ng rice importation. Edi wow. Tapos yung kita sa sa NAIA. Hindi, yung bidding fund sa NAIA. O, sana naman nila nilagay yan. Talaga kayo, masyado kayong halatado.
Is excess.
May 14, 15, July 28, and November 3, 2025. So the first being May 14, Your Honor.
What do you mean superseded?
There was a subsequent certification issued after the first four were issued.
Yes. Can I confirm with you the total amount in terms of certifications for 2025?
It is 277,458,303.18.
Okay. The conditions for the superseding can be covered in the memoranda to be submitted by the Solicitor General, but we would really appreciate if you submit to us even the superseded certifications. But I do note that the total of the certifications
102.
for the new or excess is 102 billion, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
For 2025, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. And for 2025, it is only non-tax revenues, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because in 2024, it was both tax and non-tax, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And in 2024, this was unique because ever since the beginning of time, but let me just say, from 2000, which is what we studied, it has always been non-tax revenues, correct?
Yes, Your
Only
Honor.
in 2024, there was an addition of tax revenues.
Only in the time of Marcos Jr. Corrupt Bangag.
Thank you. Thank you. You may take your seat.
Thank
And
you.
welcome to the court. So again, let us look at the triggers in the 2024 and 2025 General Appropriations Act. It does say that there must be some assurance that there is excess revenues. Okay. So, Solgen, have this been followed?
Yes, Your Honor, by virtue of the process of asking the Bureau of Treasury for the certification.
Okay. In the process that you mentioned, as soon as there is excess revenue, this is now a basis for the DBM being requested to issue the SARO to actually issue the special allotment release orders, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Is there anything in the procedure which tells DBM that the excess revenue should be first spent for programmed appropriations rather than unprogrammed appropriations?
No, Your Honor, because for the programmed appropriations that are in the GAA, most of the appropriations, the general rule is that the allotment order is already the GAA itself.
No, I'm not talking about the allotment order, not the document allowing
Bobo.
the release. I am looking at where the funds are coming from. So let us again go back to
Saan ninyo kinuha yung saan nanggaling yung pondo? Kasi 2024, kinuha nila mostly from PhilHealth, PDIC, tapos yung tax.
our points last meeting or the last day that we had our oral arguments. We said that even with the program funds, programmed appropriations, there will always be initially a deficit, correct?
May I clarify your
Okay.
question, Your Honor?
You said that the budget of expenditures and sources of financing, the BESF, which is in the NEP, already assumes a deficit, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. And you said that that covers the BESF and the NEP only covers program. In other
The-
words, there is a ceiling there of expenditures, and your position is it only covers program, correct?
The BESF covers the programmed and automatic appropriations, while the NEP covers the programmed and unprogrammed
Okay.
appropriations.
So in other words, the BESF already contains a provision for deficits, correct? 24, 25, 26.
Correct, Your Honor.
So therefore, because it does not cover the unprogrammed, there is always an excess of programmed expenditures over expected income, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Now that we have new or excess revenue, and according to you, with new and excess revenue, there is nothing in the process that you mentioned to prioritize the program where there is a deficit, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Yes. And in other words,
Excess yun na may pinag-uusapan tayong excess revenue. Sana ginamit nila sa maayos. Bakit may excess pala tayong revenue pero bakit utang pa tayo?
the DBM can prioritize standby because that is how you
Wait,
characterize.
ano?
The DBM can prioritize deficit, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Yes. And in other words, the DBM can prioritize standby
Standby.
because that is how you characterize unprogrammed. Can prioritize standby rather than the regular.
Your Honor, may I clarify.
Yes. Yes,
Bakit yung standby yung pinarior yung program yung naka-program na dapat kasi yun na yung pinag-usapan sa GAA. Bakit yung standby para makakurakot kayo?
please.
How the DBM does it.
But
We-
first, answer my question. So
Answer
DBM can choose to fund first the unprogrammed before the program.
Your Honor,
kaloko.
no, because the sources of funds for the programmed and the unprogrammed are different. So for example, if in a source of funding, the
Yes, of course, they're different. But according to you, in programmed funds, so there is already a listing of expenditures. But the BESF, the budget of expenditures and sources of funding, which contains the program already assumes a deficit, which means they assume that the sources of revenues are not sufficient to
Okay, doon sa BESF daw, may deficit na. Ibig sabihin may kulang ang pondo. Which is yun yung mga nakapaloob doon sa BESF, yung program, yung program funds na. So BESF may kulang, may deficit tayo. Dito naman sa unprogram funds, sabi meron tayong excess na revenue. So kung may excess na revenue, bakit mo ilalagay sa unprogram appropriations kung may kulang pa na budget dito sa BE? Yun yung tinatanong ni Justice Leonen. Bakit mo pinarioritize yun ng program funds? Kaya nga unprogram yan eh. Ibig sabihin, pag-uusapan mo pa yung programa na yan. Pag-uusapan mo pa yung proyekto. Kaya nga yung BSF, where andun yung nakapaloob yung mga programa na napag-usapan na sa GAA, kulang yung budget doon. Pero meron na tayong planado na proyekto dyan. Pero kulang yung budget. So may excess revenue. Instead na ilagay dito yung excess revenue, ilalagay dito sa program appropriation. Yun yung tinatawag tayo.
cover the expenditures. Now, given that, and there is new or excess expenditures, you are now saying that there is nothing in the procedure which tells DBM, unahin niyo ang program bago tayo pumunta doon sa unprogram. Unahin niyo yung regular bago tayo pumunta doon sa standby. Kasi ang ibig sabihin ng standby ay kung sakasakali lang, meron pang
hindi priority.
extra, correct?
Okay, may I clarify, Your Honor, because there is usually a confusion as to what the sources of funds for the unprogrammed appropriation
Parang sa ano lang yan, sa needs at saka want eh. Ano unahin mo? Yung kailangan o yung gusto mo lang?
are, which could lead people to think that the source is a surplus. And the surplus
Siyempre, ano bang tawag doon? Sinabi mo, di ba, excess? So, hindi yung surplus?
is the revenues minus disbursements. We are not the sources of funds for the
Ito lang sige, sabihin na natin hindi surplus, sabihin na natin hindi siya excess. Hindi na excess. Kumbaga, nag-isip lang kayo kung saan kumuha ng budget. Di ba? So, naisipan nyo yung PhilHealth. Kuhanan nyo ng 60 billion yung PhilHealth. Naisipan nyo kunan yung PDIC. Naisipan nyo kunan yung gold. Magbenta kayo. Ano pa, yung tax ng rice importation. So, yung apat na yan, naisipan nyo kunin yung budget na yan. Hindi yan surplus. Sige, sabihin na natin hindi. Ang tanong, nung kinuha nyo itong budget na ito, bakit inilagay nyo sa unprogram appropriations? Yun yung tinatanong. Sana kinuha nyo ito, ilagay nyo sana doon sa program funds. Kasi may kulang sa BESF. Yun yung tinatanong. Rarason mo pa, kasi yung excess funds hindi surplus. O sige, hindi na excess, hindi na surplus. Bakit nyo nilagay sa unprogram funds?
The unprogrammed appropriations is not a surplus. It is the excess in the total revenue that has been committed in the BESF or in any of the item, which is statutorily provided in the GAA.
I think you need to clarify that more in your memorandum.
Sabi ni Justice, parang alanganin yung sagot mo. Hindi mo ata naiintindihan.
I did not get the sense, but it is very simple. There is a deficit, so all the funding that are
Ito ako hindi ako abogado, hindi rin ako economist, hindi rin ako wala akong alam diyan sa ano. Pero I mean, from the standpoint of a normal tao, naiintindihan ko yung tanong ni Justice eh. Kumbaga, ulitin ko ulit. Kumuha kayo ng pera sa PDIC, PhilHealth, Gold, at kung saan-saan pang tax niyan, kumuha kayo. Instead na ilagay nyo ito, kumbaga instead na ibili mo ito ng pagkain, bakit ibinili mo ng iPhone? Tanong eh.
projected by DBM and accepted by Congress is insufficient to fund the expenditures. Then later on, the Bureau of Treasury says, hey, there is excess revenue.
Oh.
And the excess revenue, according to you, can go to unprogrammed because in your Annex K, which outlines the procedure, there is nothing there which says that the DBM should first check the priorities of the President and Congress as shown in the GAA because they are saying programmed is programmed, unprogrammed is unprogrammed, and therefore it should go there first. But let's move so that we do not spend more time.
Doon, ayan, first stage, sunog.
I'm sure that my colleagues will have more pointed questions relating to that.
Since ito kasi ay oral arguments, hindi naman kinakailangan na sabihin ni Justice na, oy, ito, guilty ka dito. Alam niyang guilty na siya doon. Alam niyang sunog. So, ano yung next na procedure? O sige, let's move on to the next. Ano ba yun? So, it's an argument na ito, pinakita lang ni Justice Leonen na mali itong ginawa. Next, move on tayo sa next.
Now, what is for later release? What is this concept of FLR?
FLR.
The for later release
FLR naman tayo.
means that there are
is
documents.
that in the law? Is that in the law?
Maybe not in the
Di siya sure.
law, and my team can correct me, but
Di siya sure. Solgen?
I think that this is in the regulations of the DBM.
In the regulations of DBM, okay. Last session, we were enlightened that the entire GAA, at least the program section, is already the authorization, correct?
In most, that is the general rule, Your Honor, because, for example, in 2024, I remember that the figure that the GAA was already the allotment order covered like 85% of the programmed appropriations.
So, in other words, for later release refers to certain items where there are conditions that need to be met before it is funded, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Yes, but if there is no condition, then it cannot be for later release because that is already authorization, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
And because there is a deficit, in other words, there is extra, there is insufficiency of the revenue being projected, then therefore there will be a time that there can be new revenues or excess revenues. And because most of it are not for later release, then these extra revenues should be used for program, correct?
Your Honor, so when the DBM tracks the sources of funding for the programmed appropriations, so each source of financing will have a target. So let's say 1 billion from the GOCCs. If that is the target that was approved, if the GOCCs will yield a 1.2 billion in dividends, then the 0.2 billion will be tracked by the Bureau of Treasury as an excess.
Okay. So in other words, well, let's move on. What are earmarked funds?
Earmarked funds are funds that have been provided by law to be set aside for certain purposes.
Okay, in other words, these are kept by the Bureau of Treasury and they should be spent only for what is earmarked, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
So would you say that this
Transparency. So, yung one of the recent issues related to that, yung ano ba yun, yung 2 million ba yun na Christmas bonus ko daw?
Okay.
So baka you can explain a little bit more. Ano ba nangyari doon? Yung
Sorry. Nas possible. Kailangan ko ng champions. Kailangan ko ng mga nagrararara. Pressure muna namin bago yung universal healthcare, bago yung syntax law.
that service is actually very,
Anyway, balik tayo doon.
all of it
Sinabi kasi sa for later release, parang ginagawang pang hostage sa mga congressman para bumuto sa gusto
has
nila.
been used for health and public Wi-Fi.
Your Honor, my understanding is that the DBM also has certain policies on cash programming. They have a lot of studies and expertise as to when the funds are available, when to utilize, and there are also a lot of factors that are being considered when projects, activity, or programs are being asked for SARO, for such PAPs.
So in other words, as we were told during the PhilHealth hearings, cash is fungible, which means that even the earmarked funds are put in the same pot, and it is only through accounting that they will see whether it is actually spent. And we were indeed told that syntaxes, not all of them were really going to health, but used for other services. But that nonetheless, I just wanted to clarify this. Okay. Now, you mentioned in Annex K that the President does not participate for the release, correct? So I flashed the paragraph in your Annex K. Pursuant to the special provisions of the UA under the General Appropriations Act, prior approval by the President is not required for the release. This is from your compliance, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Do you refer to the GAA 24, 25, and 26, all of them?
May I confer with my team? My recollection is that yes, the answer is yes. 2024, 2025, 2026.
So it is your position that under the law, the GAA, the buck stops with the DBM. The President need not approve the SAROS, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
In other words, the DBM Secretary is no longer alter ego of the President. The DBM Secretary is co-equal with the President. Or is that a mistaken assumption?
What I could say is that the GAA has authorized the DBM or designated the DBM Secretary to be the one to perform this responsibility.
She reports to the President?
Yes,
Yes,
Your Honor.
and the President, therefore, as the Chief Executive, and there is only one Chief Executive
Correct,
in
Your
the
Honor.
Constitution. The President can tell the DBM, don't do that, or the DBM Secretary can consult with the President, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
And the DBM Secretary is accountable to the President, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Yes. Now, let us look at the 2024 provisions of the GAA on unprogrammed funds. And you will note here that in the special provision, it says, subject to Section 35, Chapter 5, Book 6 of Executive Order 292. You confirm that this is in the 2024 GAA?
Yes, Your Honor.
And looking at Section 35, Chapter 5, Book 6 of Executive Order 292, we find there that that all requests for special allotment release orders must be accompanied by a special budget to be approved by the President, correct? Section 35, Chapter 5,
Huli.
Book 6, Executive Order 292, or our administrative code referred to
Kailangan ng approval.
in the 2024 GAA. It says to be approved by the President, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
So, are you now saying, or am I mistaken, that if the DBM has approved SAROS under 2024, without the explicit approval of the President, then we have violated a special provision in the GAA, correct?
Paano yan?
May I confer with my team, Your
kasi
Honor, so that I will not
sinabi niya
risk a misunderstanding
Yes.
in my answer.
Sabi niya nang una, hindi kailangan ng approval ng presidente. Pero nandito sa Section 35, kailangan. Ay.
Number 2, in the GAA, in the 2024 GAA, is the presidential approval refers to the special budget request, which is a documentary requirement
Nako, yung
before
sagot mo
that
sablay.
happens before the issuance of a
Yan,
SARO.
forward natin.
Okay, so in other words, the President approves the special budget request,
Oh.
and then it goes to the DBM Secretary, and the DBM Secretary approves the SARO, correct?
Yes, Your
And the
Honor.
DBM Secretary, because she has the approval power, can actually not approve if she wants to, correct?
Correct, Your Honor. So,
In other words, the DBM Secretary can overrule the President of the Republic of the Philippines, correct? Kasi sabi nyo, mauna si Presidente sa special budget request. I-approve ni President. Pagbaba sa DBM Secretary, because you are saying that the GAA says that it is the DBM Secretary that approves the SARO, the DBM Secretary can say, sandali lang, wag muna.
Wag mo na.
for reasons, Your Honor, so for example,
Pero hindi accountable yung presidente.
if there are submissions that haven't been received,
Yes, pero nakapaloob dito, Section 35, Chapter 5, Book 6. So, shall be made in accordance with the special budget to be approved by the President.
Before
sablay.
the lower
Next tayo.
authority
Ito.
approves
Kasi
unprogrammed
hindi niya masagot.
appropriations
Ito.
part of the
that
Ito yung 8-point agenda, budol eh. Tingnan.
that goes into the
Tingnan.
Your Honor, I would submit
if the 8-point plan in the Philippine Development Plan of 2023 to 2028 is a priority,
Priority.
why is it in the unprogrammed appropriations
Boom.
part of the GAA?
Priority, pero bakit nasa unprogram appropriations? O, dyan, sabog sila.
Your
dyan.
Honor, I would submit that that goes into the reasoning or the wisdom
Hindi
of
niya
the
masagot,
Congress in
Kaya mo 8-point agenda, protect purchasing power, reduce vulnerability of COVID, and ensure macroeconomic, tapos create more jobs. Grabe, butol nyo.
putting the appropriations in the programmed or unprogrammed.
So our president created the NEP. Our president has a Philippine Development Plan 2023 to 2028. Our president has committed to the public, I have 8 points. Sustainable livelihood, green livelihood, all of them, I show it to you there. I enumerated because I wanted to memorize all of this because it is the plan of the president. That's why I wanted to memorize it, but I could not. And this is all there is. It committed it to the public. Ito yung gagawin ko during my entire term. Yet, instead of the Congress, in its wisdom, instead of putting it in the program, meaning regular, it put it as standby. Is that what you mean? We have to respect the wisdom of Congress, putting it on standby.
It is the position of the
Saan ka nakakita 8-point agenda ng presidente nilagay nila sa standby o sa unprogram appropriations? Nilagay sa unprogram, standby. So, budol ito.
respondents, Your Honor, that we can actually debate on the soundness or unsoundness of putting certain items. And in fact, the public is already responding and reacting that is unsound. But it is the humble submission of the respondents and the Solicitor General that this is a political question. Our Constitution defines
Rason pa siya na political question. Hindi mo masagot eh. Bakit nyo nilagay sa program appropriations o standby? Ito 8-point agenda, napaka-importante po itong programa. Tingnan ninyo, create more jobs, create quality jobs, create green jobs, ensure level playing field, uphold public order and safety. Napaka-importante po yung mga yan.
the separation of powers and in fact has
Article 8, Section 1, second paragraph has a modification on separation of powers. Grave abuse of discretion, meaning irrationality, can be corrected by judicial review. But let us continue and let us just see what exactly were these SAROs. Page 141 of your submission is a SARO issued November
Ayan.
11, 2024,
Ayan na.
amounting
Saro.
to 12 billion Hagonoy, Bulacan, correct? Release of 70
Nilagay nila sa flood control, Grabe kayo. Anyway, ongoing ngayon yung resume ng tignan nga natin kasi ongoing na yung resume. Tignan natin.
Program. Question. Do we have enough to fund the PAP under the program appropriation worth 5 billion?
5 billion.
We
Your
don't.
Honor, if it is in the
Program.
BESF, if it is in the program, then there is a corresponding source of financing.
No, I'm giving you the example already. That's how much money they made as of the third quarter. And the total is only 4.5 billion. But the
Okay.
projected revenues for the third quarter is 5.6 billion.
I submit, Your Honor.
Okay. So, assuming that there is a PAP under the programmed appropriation worth 5 billion, and there is a PAP under the unprogrammed part worth 1 billion, my question first is, do you have enough to fund the PAP under the program?
No, Your Honor.
You're missing 500 million,
Yes, Your Honor.
which the government can perhaps earn in the last quarter. Quarter 4.
Could be, Your Honor.
Could be. Now, going back to my earlier slide, which shows, again, this is only an example, that the Bureau of Customs has already exceeded its projected revenue from import processing fees by about 1 billion. This would mean also that Special Provision 1A of the unprogrammed appropriations is triggered, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
In other words, the 1 billion may now be used to fund the PAP in the unprogrammed appropriation worth 1 billion, correct?
Well, actually, Your Honor, our interpretation or our submission is that if it is an excess of what has been accepted by Congress as the target, then it is a source of funding for the unprogrammed and not for the programmed.
Even if the BSF indicates that the earnings, that was a source of revenue for program.
Yes, Your Honor. That's what I was trying to explain a while ago with regard to the intuitive idea that the unprogrammed appropriations will only be funded if there is a surplus. But surplus, the DBM briefs us, has a technical meaning or even ordinary meaning is that surplus is revenue minus disbursement. But it is not the source of funding. There should not be a surplus in order to fund an unprogrammed appropriation, but an excess in the...
I'm not understanding what you're saying because what I showed you was the BSF. Those were the sources of funding for the programmed.
Yes,
And
yes,
one
Your
of those
Honor.
items, we get to collect much, much more.
Yes, Your Honor.
Pinulsa kasi
That
yun
now
lang ang sagot.
can be used for program.
Your Honor.
It's only a source of funding.
Yes, it's a source of funding, but attached to it is the target revenue which the government commits to meet.
Exactly.
And that is
And by the
Tingnan ninyo, yan kasi pinopoint guys kasi dyan. Nakita niyo yan, wait lang. Play lang
third
natin
quarter, it has exceeded that target.
Your Honor,
Instead na ilagay nila yung, di ba, 5 billion yung target nila. Pero dito sa source of financing, source of funding, 4.5 lang ang, kukulang pa ng 500 billion. So instead na yung kinita or halimbawa may inano na naman nilang PhilHealth, ilagay nila dito para makumpleto tong 5 billion. Ilagay nila sa program. Yung point doon.
where at first the conclusion was in order to determine if there is an excess that could
Alam niyo, simple lang sagot niyan kung bakit parang nangangati yung kamay nila sa program appropriation. Kasi doon
I have BSF telling me
yun lang yung sagot doon.
says of the BOC is a source of funding for program. And in the third quarter, I realize I've far exceeded that amount. Common sense tells me
Yes.
that amount, which is a source of funding, which I identified in the BSF, can now be used for program activities.
I
Are we
agree.
saying that we cannot use it for program?
I agree, Your Honor. It is very intuitive. My
Grabe.
interpretation, my submission is that the DBM works on a periodic
Ay, wala. Sabay,
checking if there is an excess. So there is also a periodic target.
Kung may excess man o di ilagay nyo dito sa program appropriation, wag dyan sa program appropriation. Yun yung tanong.
Quarterly figure of collections versus projections. And I've collected much, much more. What else will DBM look at?
Okay.
That's an excess in my projected revenues.
My understanding, Your Honor, is that every
Abogado ng Pilipinas to, may understanding ang linyahan.
work,
That's why we're in the third quarter.
yes, Your Honor. So you work on targets, and that's how the DBM
Parang grade 1 sumagot.
coordinate with the BTR if there is an excess in any
Hindi na naman ng mga tanga na followers. Uy, ang galing-galing niya.
Screen the example. There.
Dito.
Projected revenues is 961. Isn't that the target?
Your Honor, if I may ask for the supporting explanation of the DBM, because that was also what we asked as to how they monitor the targets, because in the motion for reconsideration of Araulio, the Supreme Court also said that you don't have to wait for the whole year.
Yeah.
I'll flash it later on the screen. That is not how I read Araulio. But I do want to hear from DBM what
May
explanation they have.
kinita sila
Given my
dito.
example, that's my target
Projected
revenue.
revenues, pero
That's
may
my
surplus
projected
sila.
revenue. I breached it. It's now
Saan
2
niya nilagay?
billion. Are you telling me that I cannot use the excess of 2 billion over 961 for programmed activities?
Yun ang tanong.
The actual revenues,
That's my example, ha?
okay, it
Hindi,
depends.
balikan natin na ito kasi, ayan ayan ang sinasabi niya. Bakit nilagay niya dito sa program itong 1 billion 38 million? Tingnan nyo, ayan ito na nga lang yung example,
Program.
Your Honor,
Ito na nga lang example, kasi ito yung projected na revenues. Sumobra yung kita. Sumobra yung kita, naging 2 billion. Ito yung surplus niya. 1 billion 38. Ngayon, bakit nila inilagay dito sa unprogram appropriations? Yun yung pinakatanong dyan. Aber.
In the program, yes, sir.
Assume lang yan, ha?
Opo. And there's only 4.5
Billion
Kulang
collected.
yan,
collected. But
Actual collections.
Dito nila ilagay. Talaga sila dito, hindi dito.
For all three sources of funding.
yes, Your
Okay.
Honor. So when we're proposing the budget, when we submit the BESF, the programmed appropriations have the necessary counterpart sources of financing in totality. So it's not really, except for special funds, which would have to be spent for a specific purpose. it would have considered that cash is fungible.
Hold on. But when you put it in the BSF as a source of funding,
Ah.
you're looking at it as a source of funding.
Yes, Your Honor.
To fund what? Program.
Yes, Your Honor.
Correct?
Yes.
Correct.
And my example is very simple. I collect more than what I projected.
Oh, saan mo
Why can I
ilalagay?
not use that money for program?
Oh.
When we are during the budget execution phase of the cycle,
Ayan na, napakasimple oh. Kulang tayo sa program appropriations ng 500 million. Ngayon, sumobra naman tayo dun sa projected revenue. Naging 1 billion 38 million. Inilagay ba naman dito, ikulang pa nga tayo ng 500 million dyan. Oh,
for spending the excess revenue would be either to spend it for unprogrammed appropriations as provided by the GAA, or another option would be not to spend it for the unprogrammed appropriations.
Shelo Magno, magsalita ka nga, not to spend daw oh. Yung surplus, not to spend it daw.
It's just money.
If we're referring,
Ginawang not to spend it, di ba?
cash could be spent for program, but
So-
the excess revenue.
No, in my example is very specific.
Simple.
My collections is 2 billion. Your projected revenues was 900. So there's a increase of 1.1 billion.
1.1 billion.
Can I use that for program?
The cash from the collection?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. But can I use it also for unprogrammed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Also,
Yes.
correct?
Oo,
Because it is
pero
also
unahin mo
triggered.
muna yung program.
It's excess revenue.
Yes, Your Honor.
Tama?
Yeah, may I clarify, Your Honor, that
Okay.
when you use it for the program, I qualified my answer that you can use the cash, considering the fungibility of the cash.
Oh.
But the notation or the ledger noting the excess revenue will still be available for appropriation towards the unprogrammed appropriation.
Wow, nawala ako dun.
Let me be clearer, Your Honor, if I may. So, when we have collections, of course, there's the cash. And there's also the trigger for the unprogrammed
Kulang pa nga yung
appropriations.
program.
The cash, our position has always been, it is fungible. So, if there is cash and
Naloko
it's
na.
not, it's like you have, if it's like depositing in a bank. You're not depositing in a safety deposit box, but you're depositing. So the cash itself is fungible, so you can spend it.
Oo
But
nga.
as to the
But
trigger,
dapat sa program appropriation. Program.
triggered the unprogrammed appropriation trigger to allow for releases, then yes, as soon as you have excess revenue beyond what is the target for the BES.
So I go back to my example. Is there an excess revenue beyond the target?
Yes,
So I can use it for unprogrammed.
yes po.
But I can also use it for programmed if it were cash.
The cash po,
The
yes.
cash equivalent.
Cash.
Tama ba?
The cash is, yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Tanong.
So who chooses where to go?
Yun ang tanong.
Who chooses that I use it for unprogrammed and
Marcos.
not programmed?
Marcos.
At the point that there is a trigger and there's a corresponding request from the agencies which fall under the purposes identified under
Sino?
the unprogrammed
Sino nga?
appropriations,
Sino?
then there's no need to prioritize one or the other. Both can be released. But of course, the sources of financing.
No, it can be both. It's just 1 peso.
1
Diba?
peso. Pwede na.
1 peso lang yung pwede mong ibigay, ilaan.
Paano
Yeah,
Sinong pumipili kung saan mo ilalagay yon? Sa unprogrammed or programmed? Na-trigger ng unprogrammed. Pwede nang ilagay. So, kung pwede natin gamitin yon for unprogrammed, yes. The answer is yes.
Yes.
Kung pwede natin gamitin yon for program, the answer is
Yes.
also yes.
Yes.
Correct? So, sino nagde-decide? Yung pisong yon?
May I clarify,
Sige
Your
po.
Honor? When we propose the budget, there's an expenditure and a source of financing. And while we may not have all the cash for the sources of financing, and this is composed of
Program
both revenues
and
and
program. Sino pipili? Saan
borrowings.
ilagay? Dito o
These
dito?
revenues and borrowings are already programmed and planned. So if we have committed to provide sources of financing for the programmed appropriations. That means that the national government is ready and willing to provide the corresponding source of financing for
Okay.
that.
So in other words, you got to trigger the unprogrammed and it gets spent for unprogrammed.
Ah.
Because at the end of the day,
Then forget
for
about the
programmed
program.
appropriations, government is ready to fulfill that.
Yes, Your
Kasi hindi nga safety deposit box, parang bangko.
Honor. Yes,
di
Your
ba?
Honor.
But we now have an Iran war.
Oh.
And the Iran war has
Patay
screwed
tayo.
up my income revenue stream projected. So I know that in quarter 4, I won't
Kukulangin.
be able to fund my 5 billion project. Kasi nakuha na ng unprogrammed yung 1 billion eh. So I need 1.5. Correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And government, as you just said, will make sure that program
saan
is
niya
implemented.
kukunin?
This priority plan of the president.
Yes, Your Honor.
It will borrow.
Yes, Your Honor.
Therefore, it has an effect on the deficit.
Uutang.
Yes?
Yes, Your
It has. And therefore, if you spend,
Huli.
if you increase the unprogrammed and spend it, forcing you to borrow for programmed activities and projects, you are increasing the deficit.
If you're borrowing for the program, that should still be within the target deficit
Wala na.
for the fiscal year.
No, my situation again is they are triggered both ways. You're putting it now to unprogrammed, and you can, per the language, because it's in the language.
Opo.
Talaga. Decision
Pero nawalan
ng
ako ng
Pangulo.
1.5 billion to finish my 5 billion sa program. Hihiram ako ng 1.5.
Oh, hindi na yun.
If I may
excess.
clarify,
Hindi na
Your
yun.
Honor, what I spent for the unprogrammed was not considered in the BESF as a source of financing for the
Yes,
program.
but it was financing because of over-collections.
Yes, Your Honor.
Correct?
Yes, Your
So
Honor.
it could actually finance or fund my PAP in the program.
It could have resulted in a lower deficit if we used the excess collection.
Yes.
But it would not using it for UA would not necessarily increase the deficit.
Correct. Except that I have the
programmed by
Iran war and I have to borrow money to finish my 5 billion project. In that situation, the budget deficit is affected, correct?
Tama.
Yes, Your Honor.
Adversely.
Yes, Your
Kasi
Honor.
syempre, binulsa lang nila yung unprogram eh.
To say that unprogrammed
So, ang point doon, dapat inuna nila ang ilagay yung excess doon sa program.
under the language of your
Para kasi may Iran war, hindi tayo uutang.
allow to fund unprogrammed appropriations for any increase in any item as opposed to the total.
Yes,
If it
Your
were the
Honor.
total, I'll agree with you, it is neutral. But the way it is couched, the language, which allows me to use in any item an excess to fund UA, that makes it not neutral, right?
If I may clarify, Your Honor, looking at unprogrammed appropriations in isolation, it is deficit neutral.
Yes.
But-
But once triggered,
Pwede ilagay.
If we relate the possibility of using the excess revenue to fund programmed appropriations instead of borrowing, then that's the
it
time.
will lessen the budget, the deficit.
Yes.
But that's not what's happening. What's happening is the moment the trigger is triggered,
Ilagay sa
it goes to
program.
UA.
Yo.
Then bahala na si Batman sa program.
In accordance with the GAA provisions as enacted by Congress, Your Honor.
So I guess that's where I'm coming from. I don't think it's accurate to say that unprogrammed appropriations are deficit neutral. In a situation where you have provisions in your GAA that allow you to take from any source,
Binabu.
that has an effect on the deficit. Are we in agreement with that? You see, my problem,
Yes.
I'll be very candid with you. My problem is not unprogrammed appropriations as a concept. I totally agree with Congressman Salceda. And I also agree with Secretary Jokno. We need that,
We need.
especially for foreign-assisted projects, right? So my problem really is the triggers. Why are the triggers that way? They're creating artificial surpluses.
Kaya nga,
So,
artificial.
again, my line of questioning is only to clarify,
Hindi, nag-gets
totoo
ko yan,
nga bang walang epekto?
Hindi, yung artificial surplus na sinasabi niya, kumuha sila sa PhilHealth, PDIC, artificial surplus yun. Hindi yan actually surplus yun. They pretend or they make it artificial surplus. PhilHealth, PDIC, magbenta ng gold. Uy, may excess tayo. Oh, so itong pinagbentahan nila na to at sa income sa importation tax, instead na ilagay nila sa program appropriations kasi yun yung dapat na prioritize natin para in the case of any Iran war, na tayong problema. Hindi tayo uutang kasi ang nangyari, may unprogram funds, unprogram. I-unprogram hindi naman priority, na-create lang yun. In case na meron tayong sobra, saka natin tatapusin ng mga programa dito sa unprogram appropriations. Inilagay ka agad sa unprogram, meron pa ngang deficit dito sa unprogram appropriations, dito sa programa ng program appropriations. Yun yung pinupoint natin doon. Kaya tayo nagkakabaon sa utang kasi inuna yung unprogram appropriations na hindi naman talaga priority yun. Yung mga programa doon, hindi naman priority. Although kailangan na. Pero unahin mo muna yung mga programa like yung 8-point agenda ni Marcos Jr. So ano nangyari doon sa 8-point agenda niya? Kulang na halimbawa, example lang, 5 billion o 5 trillion ang targeted budget o 5 billion. Kulang yung kinita natin, 4.5 lang. So may kinita tayo, sabi nila may surplus. Binenta yung gold eh. So instead na ilagay nila dito. Saan program?
Will be within the acceptable deficit.
Walang hiya kayo, pinagbubulsan niyo pera ng tampayan.
Negative po.
Okay, thank you.
Respectfully, Your Honor.
Thank you so much.
Ano yan? Nakakakulo kayo ng dugo.
I'll go to a different point.
Yung mga ayuda, pipila pa sila, may namatay pa, tapos kayo, dali.
In Araulio versus Aquino, again, per my reading, the court ruled that unprogrammed funds should consider the revenue targets as a whole, not individually. That was in Araulio decision. Okay. In the last oral arguments, you argued that the ruling was limited only to the 2011, 2012, and 2013 GAAs. Did I understand your argument correctly? Okay. So can we pull up the 2011, 2012, and 2013 GAAs?
Masusunog na naman sila dito.
If you look at the language of 2011, 2012, and 2013, they're talking totals only when the revenue collections exceed the original revenue targets, provided that collections arising from sources not considered may be used to cover releases from appropriations. This seems to be a more expansive language compared to the 2024, 2025, and 2026 GAAs, which specify any. Are we in agreement with that?
Yes, Your Honor. Beginning 2015,
Yes.
there was a change in the special provision on the trigger that there was an inclusion of the phrase in
Yes.
anyone.
Okay. But in the 2014 Araulio decision, government already was arguing that the way to read those provisions, which I flashed on the screen, is that excess in the revenue collection for a particular source. So given even the language of 2011, 2012, and 2013, the argument of government was, no, the correct way to understand that is collection for a particular source. I'm showing to you, can you bring up slide 32? There, I highlighted. That's a quote from Araulio versus Aquino. But the respondents understand the phrase to refer only to the collections for each source of revenue as enumerated in the BSF.
Yes, Your Honor, and that's why in the briefing to us, I think that was the reaction because of the interpretation of the Supreme Court in Araulio. In 2015, the trigger provision was revised
But
to
the trigger,
include
but
in
the trigger
anyone.
provision here talks about totals, and you revised it to make it more clear that it can be taken from specific.
In anyone, because
Yes, but the Supreme Court in Araulio ruled against that.
Okay. Your Honor, may I clarify? I want to make a distinction between what was being interpreted by the Supreme Court in the Araulio, and that's why I tried to draw the attention of the people that the special provision trigger has a different articulation, and I would say in reaction to the interpretation of the court, and that's why they added the...
But that doesn't make sense to me. The language of 2011, 2012, and 2013 were clear. It's total.
May I clarify?
And then the respondents, government said, no, that's not how to read it, Supreme Court. You read it per source. And the Supreme Court said, no, it cannot be per source because you're going to screw up the budget because you're going to create artificial surpluses. And the reaction is to actually say that's a reaction that sidesteps. That's a reaction that's has already been debunked by the Supreme Court in this case. So I don't understand.
Your
Where are
Honor,
you
so
coming
we were
from?
also looking at the origin. Where was the artificial surplus mentioned? And I think it's coming from this case. And the reason why, to us, there is a big impact as to what we are now considering, we have to remember that this special provision is not a constitutional it's not a constitutional requirement. It is a statutory requirement that was being interpreted by the Supreme Court in Araulio. So here, it seems that the trigger is an excess in the total, and that's why the court interpreted it as then you have to wait for the total revenue projection.
That's not what Araulio said. That's not what
individual.
Araulio. You're talking about the motion for recon?
Which was eventually
Ala.
what was
Tolgento?
decided on by the Supreme Court in the motion for reconsideration.
Can we bring up the pertinent portion of the Supreme Court decision on Araulio motion for recon?
Patay tayo.
It's slide 35.
Patay ka. Solgento?
That's the language. Based on the 2011, 2012, and 2013 GAAs, respondents contend that each source of revenue in the budget proposal must exceed. Accordingly, the court's ruling thereon nullified the intention of the authors. That was the argument of the respondents, the Solicitor General at the time. The ruling of the court says the respondents' contentions are without merit. Look at the next paragraph, which I highlighted. While we maintain the position that aggregate revenue collection must first exceed aggregate revenue target as a prerequisite to the use of unprogrammed funds, we clarify. So in other words, what the Supreme Court was clarifying was in the middle of the year, you can determine that already, whether total exceeds total. It was not a statement of the Supreme Court to say that we go back to interpreting specific sources. Specific.
Ayun, nakalagay na dyan.
That's why I decided to put it on screen. It's clear as day as for me.
Kaya nga, ibig sabihin, must exceed the target revenue. Ay, target budget. Kagaya yung pinakita dito. Ayan, ang point dito, kailangan mag-exceed muna ito, ma-exceed muna ito. Ibig sabihin, mapunan muna natin ito kasi may deficit siyang 4.5 billion. Balik natin. Ayan. May exceed siyang kulang. Ayan, 4.5 billion. Source of financing 4.5 billion, kulang pa siya ng 500 billion. So ang ginawa ng mga mokong na to, yung surplus yung surplus na kinita ko, no, inilagay nila kagad sa program. So, according sa Arroyo, dapat mapunan muna natin ito. At kung may exceed after nating napunan ito, okay, may sobra after napunan ito, saka natin ilagay sa program. Yun yung
funding for program. Precisely what the Supreme Court said you ought not to do because it will create an artificial surplus.
artificial.
My takeaway from Araulio, and I guess I invite everybody here to read it, no, is number one, that the language of 2011, 2012, and 2013, as clear as it was, could not be interpreted the way the respondents were arguing. It had to be total. And number two, that if you were to interpret it as a specific source, any source, then you are creating a distortion. You're creating an artificial surplus. You are now impacting
Yun
on
ang-
the budget deficit.
Yun ang
That's
ginawa nila.
from both the decision and the resolution. And it boggles my mind that you tell me that the reaction of Congress
Ako rin.
to a clear decision of the Supreme Court is to say the very thing that the Supreme Court said could not be done.
Your
That
Honor.
boggles the mind.
Yes, Your Honor, I perfectly understand
It's
where you.
mind-boggling talaga. Sa
I am
totoo.
trying to explain
Kasi nag-create sila ng artificial surplus. PhilHealth, PDIC, pagbenta ng gold.
that to be funded by surpluses.
Hindi
They
nga legit na surplus yun kasi artificial. Eh, pera ng tao, ano yun eh, contribution ng PhilHealth yun. Tapos pera ng tao yun sa insurance, sa PDIC. Tapos yung gold, ba't kailangan nating magbenta during that time?
War happened, and I can't get that funding anymore.
Your
And
Honor,
yet, the excess I will use for UA, not PA.
Your Honor,
That's what I don't understand.
if I may, so there is also a contingent fund in
Nagalit kayo.
the programmed appropriations.
No, but that's not what happened, right? What happened is
Inuna.
na-prefer ang UA. For lack of a better word, no? Inuna ang UA.
Para mabulsa nga nila.
Your Honor,
Para mabulsa.
so what the position of the respondents is
Sabihin
that
nyo.
since they are sourced from different
Sabi niyo, President is doing a good job.
Example says that they're not.
okay, they refer to the
Pares kayo ng amo mo.
source, but the target that was submitted by the President
Grade 1 sumagot.
by Congress as the source of financing is then also a definite. So if the target revenue is 1 billion and the government yields 1.2 billion, the 0.2 billion will then be a trigger for the unprogrammed appropriations. That is the humble submission of the respondents, Your Honor.
Again, let's agree to disagree. The decisions of the Supreme Court become part of the law of the land, right?
Correct, Your Honor.
And if my reading of the decision in Araulio is correct, then the only conclusion I have is that the language beginning 2014, 2015, they were in contravention of the Araulio ruling.
Again, it is my respectful submission, Your Honor, that we think that there is an impact to changing the word so that including the in any. The in any interpretation, the Supreme Court said that it is inappropriate if the wording of the trigger in the 2011 to 2013 is this way, because we were referring to the total. But if it is in any,
That seems to be such a very narrow reading of Araulio. Araulio was very specific to say that it should be totals because you do not want to create an artificial surplus. And that statement was in relation
Total pala.
to the desire of government not to increase its deficit budget. So when you start saying that this is the language, but it could not have meant this, it could only mean this, and then you totally prescind from the effects on the budget, that seems to be such a selective way of reading things.
Tama.
Your Honor, the position of the respondents is that what has been submitted by the President in the BESF when accepted by the Congress will be the level of the target revenues that are committed by government. And that's why, if there is an excess, then that could be the source of funding for the standby appropriation. That is the position of the government.
Excess. Baka nyo inuna yung standby.
Okay. Sorry, I only have a few questions left. Actually, I have 1,000 questions. I'll ask them the next time. But for
Talo na
today,
to.
I just have a few more questions. Can I ask the DBM representative?
Patay.
These are just points of clarification I want to make.
We have the two representatives.
The one who was here.
Okay, thank you.
Napakasimple
Your
lang.
Honor.
Can you put on the slide section 5 of DBM Circular 581? Are you familiar with this, ma'am?
I can read through it, Your Honor. and-
Clarificatory guidelines and procedures applicable to foreign assisted projects following the cash budgeting system and treasury single account framework. That's the title. I'm assuming you're familiar with it?
Fairly, Your Honor.
Fairly or very?
Fairly, Your Honor.
Fairly, okay.
What? TBM kayo?
It has 5.1 and 5.2. These are just points to clarify. My understanding of 5.1 is that it refers to new FAPs that are ready for implementation as of the cutoff date indicated in the budget call. Is my understanding correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
And since they are ready for implementation, it means that as of the date indicated in the budget call, they have already undergone the rigorous evaluation process mentioned by Secretary Jokno last time, namely pre-feasibility study, feasibility study, detailed engineering, review of the internal rate of return threshold, and a certain source of financing for these new FAPs.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's correct?
That's
Okay.
correct.
So our spending authority for this type of FAP is no longer contingent on anything.
No, Your Honor.
All right. So as an example, can you put lang on the slide? This is the example I find. That's the Metro Manila Subway Project Phase 1,
Ayan na.
which is part of the appropriations for the Department of Transportation under the 2026 GAA. This is under programmed appropriations, correct?
Program appropriations.
I have to verify that, Your Honor.
I'm
but-
telling you already.
Okay.
Okay.
Your
It's in program. So here you have a source of funding. The loan has been approved.
Teka.
Nothing else needs to be done. Therefore, nasa program siya.
Nasa
Yes, Your
program.
Honor.
Teka.
Now, going back to Budget Circular 581, Section 5.2,
Oh.
they refer to FAPs that, while already approved or scheduled to be approved by the ICC and NEDA, they are not yet implementation ready as of the cutoff date indicated in the budget call. Do I understand that correctly?
Yes, Your Honor.
And these programs, they will be evaluated by the DBM for inclusion in the unprogrammed.
For possible inclusion, yes.
So
Your
much so that when the contract is finally approved in the middle of the year, for example, then meron ka ng budget authority to spend.
Honor. Yes, Your
And
Honor.
that's the whole concept
The
about
efficiency,
standby.
Your Honor.
Correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Everybody, I keep hearing on the news that everybody says, why don't we just file a supplemental budget? How long does a supplemental budget take?
It will go through the same process as the General Appropriations Act, Your Honor.
And in your experience, how many months will this take?
Maybe 3 to...
Your Honor, we sampled special appropriation laws. The average, I think, is 50 days. It can also it can be longer, but the average that we got was like
5
50 days, and it goes through the
50.
50.
That includes already deliberations in Congress?
Yes, Your Honor.
So 2 months.
5 months.
On average,
And in those 2 months na hindi ko ma-implement yung FAP, because it's pending legislation which can be extended, right? Because of everything under the sun. And in those 2 months, what happens to the contract? Do I incur any fees?
Standby.
If there are delays, there could be commitment fees, Your Honor.
How much are we talking about?
I would defer to my colleague on the specific
Let's have a ballpark figure. How much are we talking about?
Million?
1/4 of 1%.
1/4 of 1%.
I am listening to my previous secretaries, Your Honor.
Ay, nako.
And in projects that are huge, that 1/4 of 1% will be big.
Yes, Your Honor.
We're talking millions,
Billions, Your Honor.
billions. Because I'm
Sometimes.
going through the legislative mill that will take me 2 months to process. In the meantime, I incur billions in terms of commitment fees.
Yes, Your Honor.
And that goes into the wisdom of UAs,
The efficiency of UA.
the efficiency of UAs. Okay. So given my understanding of 5.1 and 5.2 to be correct, can you confirm that for the 2026 GAA, the FAPs listed there under unprogrammed are only those that are referred to in 5.2?
I would have to double check the data, Your Honor.
Okay. So, yeah, let me end there. Because I noticed that 2024, 2025, and 2026, this phrase support to foreign assisted projects, they're packaged differently. 2024 has an itemization, 2025 has none, 2026 has no listing. So I want to make sure that when we say support to foreign assisted projects in the 2026 GAA, they are those that are just waiting for the loan to be approved. That they do not include FAPs that are already ready for implementation. Can you submit that?
I would not be in the position to because the GAA is the product of legislative authorization, Your Honor.
Who will be in a position to?
Maybe the Congress, Your Honor.
Council, are you representing Congress as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, so can you give that?
Your Honor, I was thinking ahead. Can you please say
Okay.
again your question?
Homework.
Nakikinig.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I need an itemization of the projects for 2024, 2025, and 2026 under the term support to foreign assisted
Oh,
projects.
sabit nyo to.
I need to see the name of the project, the total project cost, including the breakdown of the loan proceeds, and the GOP counterpart.
Binulsa nila.
And when you give me that list, tell me where in the GAA I find them so that I can look at the GAA and check. All right?
We
So I
will
want to
com-
know whether they're in the programmed or unprogrammed or whether they're both there.
Binulsa
We will
nila.
comply, Your Honor.
Okay. And then, number 2, I want to know or a clarification on whether
Ere.
or not the GOP peso counterpart for any FAP in the GAAs of 2024, 2025, and 2026 was included under any line item or under any item in the unprogrammed appropriations. I want to know whether or not the GOP counterpart is being put in unprogrammed or whether it is in program. Because if it is in program, it eats up, I think, what Secretary Butch likes to call fiscal space, di ba? So I'd like to know where they are.
We will comply, Your Honor.
All right.
Next. Grabe, no?
Can you also indicate which foreign assisted projects we are paying commitment fees to for this year, 2024, 2025, 2026?
Covered.
We
And
will
how-
get the information.
And how much?
We will get the information, Your Honor.
Okay. That will be all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Justice Ben. Justice Ramon Paul Hernando will conduct his interpellation.
Thank you, Chief Justice.
Grabe sila.
My questions will be brief and they will be very direct.
Direct. Patay
And
ka
I'd
dyan.
like to ask them from the Solicitor General.
Patay ka. Sunog ka na naman. Sabi na ng mga...
Good afternoon,
mga-
Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Solje. I have some slides to share with you and everyone. There. So let's begin. I have an acronym for unprogrammed appropriations. IHUAS. For me, they stand for I hate unprogrammed appropriations.
Ihiwas.
And
Ihiwas.
I've already said so in my separate concurring and dissenting opinion in the Pimentel case. There. Where, among others, I bluntly said and wrote, among others, that unprogrammed appropriations in any form
Unconstitutional.
are unconstitutional.
Sila nagbubulsa eh.
My opinion, Madam Soljen, is, in my reckoning, it stands on very solid constitutional grounds. And I'll show you why. The constitutional framework for the national budget is, of course, spread over several constitutional provisions.
Program appropriation.
But hearing from our amicis, specifically former Budget Secretary Abad, it is an accountability framework. And taking that cue from Secretary Abad, it is a rigid budget with purpose-specific spending. Why? Article 7, Section 22 requires the President to submit to Congress within that period of 30 days a budget of expenditures and sources of financing. That is the BESF. And for me, and my clear, or which is based on my very clear understanding of the constitutional provisions, the BESF can only refer to program appropriations and automatic appropriations. They can never include unprogrammed appropriations. And hearing from you earlier, they can only be found in the National Expenditure Program, which is the so-called President's budget. But the Constitution does not refer to a NEP. It refers to a BESF. Now, Article 6, Section 25, subparagraph 2, complements Article 7, Section 22. It says, no provision or enactment shall be embraced in the General Appropriations Bill unless it relates specifically to some particular provision therein. Any such provision or enactment shall be limited in its operation to the appropriation to which it relates. And that is my basis for saying that the constitutional framework, insofar as our budget is concerned, is one that is rigid and with purpose-specific spending architecture. So, you are articulating for the government an interpretation of these constitutional provisions,
Iba.
one that is flexible.
Depende.
Isn't it, Madam Soljan? I have a problem
To a
with the
certain
word
extent.
flexibility or fiscal flexibility, as you said. Flexibility comes from the word flexible or flex. No?
Depende
And
sa
another
naman
word
natin.
for flex is bend. Are you advocating bending the Constitution?
Definitely not, Your Honor.
Why is that, Madam Soljan? Because with your argument for flexibility in that you are advancing and program appropriations to be within the framework of the government, even though it is not in the BESF, it is still to be considered as fiscal flexibility.
Your Honor, it is the submission of the respondents that the mention of budget of expenditures and sources of financing is found under the section on executive, which is a requirement for the President to submit that as a basis of the budget that will be passed by the GAA. But the Congress, being the one that has the power of the purse, it is not required that it will just adopt what the President has proposed, as has been ruled in Philconsa case by the Supreme Court as well. So
Yeah,
it is
exactly, Soljan. No? Because after all, the second phase of the budget cycle is budget legislation. That's where Congress comes in and deliberates on the proposal of the President on the basis of the BESF and the NEP, isn't it?
yes, Your Honor.
Anyway, let me continue. So, next slide, please. The framework that I'm referring to is that the GAB would be based on a budget of expenditures and sources of financing. Relatedly, if there is need to come up with new revenues to address some future needs of the government, the Constitution also provides for Article 6, Section 25, Paragraph 4, referring to Special Appropriations Bill. Next slide, please. The constitutional mechanisms for budgetary responsiveness in such cases are the following, and you can see that in this slide. So kung kulang po ang pondo based dun sa GAA, ang aking pananaw at pananaw ng marami ay yan ay matutugunan ng supplemental budget na kaya naman palang ipasa in less than 2 months. So that's Section 25(2) of Article 6 or 7 in the form of a Special Appropriations Bill. And it would have to be coupled with funds actually available as certified by the National Treasurer or funds to be raised by a corresponding revenue proposal. Ang Constitution po natin hindi nagtatapos sa supplemental budget para matugunan ang mga ibang pangangailangan ng gobyerno sa kinabukasan. Ano po yung pangalawa? Meron yung Article 6, Section 25(5). Yan po yung power of the President, the Speaker, the Chief Justice, etc. to realign funds within their respective departments. Hindi po ba?
Yes, Your
In
Honor.
fact, that provision was the subject of the Araulio ruling. Hindi rin nagtatapos sa Article 6, Section 25, Paragraph 5. In the GAA itself, you have provisions for contingency funds. Hindi po ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, klarong-klaro po sa atin na ang constitutional mechanisms for budgetary responsiveness are there. We don't need UAs, Madam Solgen, because they are too risky for me. They are so risky and heavy na hindi sila makakasya sa isang maleta.
Ay, maleta!
They need to be encased in several maletas.
DBS to ah.
So, let's go back to the budget cycle, just to be clear about it further. So, yan po yung ating budget preparation cycle, Madam Solgen. Unang-una po dyan, yung budget preparation, na-explain na ng mabuti ni Saj and Justice Ben kung anong nangyayari sa budget preparation. Pagdating sa budget legislation, sinasabit ng Presidente yung ating sinasabing BESF kasama ang NEP, ang kanyang message to Congress at yung staffing pattern. Hindi po ba? Apat yan eh. Ngayon po, sa budget preparation, yung budget message, hindi ko na i-explain yan, just to be short. Yung budget of expenditures and sources of financing, this is a budget document that reflects the annual program of estimated expenditures and sources of financing, including receipts from existing and proposed revenue measures, which is constitutionally mandated to be submitted by the President to Congress as the basis of the GAB. Yun namang NEP ay may pagkakaiba sa BESF. Although ang sinasabi ko nga po, ang Constitution natin ay mas pinangahalagahan ang BESF at hindi ang NEP. Ang NEP naman is the budget document that contains the details of the proposed programs of the government that it submits to Congress. It serves as the basis of the General Appropriations Bill, which becomes the GAA upon enactment. So pagdating sa second phase, yung budget legislation, andyan na yung House deliberations. At ang Senate deliberations pagkatapos na matapos ang deliberations sa House. Magkakaroon ngayon ng bicameral conference committee deliberations. And then there is ratification and enrollment. And finally, these are submitted to the President for enactment. The enactment of the budget or the budget legislation phase ends when the President already signs the GAA into law. And that's where he can veto items, exercising those powers as vested to him by the Constitution. So yun po yung buong cycle, Madam Solgen. Now let me just go to some specifics. And there is this table that I happened to stumble on. It came from Budget Brief Number 1 of the Congressional Policy and Budget Research Department of the House of Representatives. Nandyan po. Let me just validate or ask by way of questions from the DBM representative kung tama po yung table na yan. May I request your budget representative to come to the rostrum?
4 trillion.
At pakisilip po kung tama ang inyong nakikita sa monitor.
Trillion. And program.
If you will see, Council, taking a look at Table 1 under 2024 and 2025 columns, the total expenditure program for 2024 amounted to 5767.6. Tama po, no? Yan yung enacted budget for 2024. At yun namang 2025, ang enacted budget or appropriations, or total expenditure program ay 6326.3. Pero sa itaas po niyan ng total expenditure program and under total available appropriations ay niles yung UAs. So less under 2024, 731.4, and then under 2025, less yung 363.4. Is there a reason why hindi po isinisama yung UAs sa total expenditure program?
Bakit nga ba?
Your Honor, the unprogrammed appropriations are excluded because the sources of financing are different from the sources of financing for the programmed appropriations.
Because they are triggered in the future. Hindi po ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
And in that sense, the source of funding is not therefore clear at the time of the enactment of the budget.
Your Honor, may I respond to that?
Yes, please. Because yun naman ang pananaw ko, Madam Soljen, kung bakit itong unprogrammed appropriations, walang kinalalagyan yan sa budget dapat. Kasi nga po, hindi klaro yung sources of financing. They're not even considered expenditure at the time of enactment.
PhilHealth, PDIC.
Your Honor, the
SSS.
sources of financing of the unprogrammed appropriations also refer to the sources of financing in the BESF, but there is a target when breached will then be the source of financing. Secondly, Your Honor, it is also our position that even in the programmed appropriations, the requirement under the Constitution is that instead of receipts, the constitutional provision says
Grabe, no?
sources of financing based on existing or proposed revenues, which are also not existing at the time of enactment, Your Honor.
But you have a technical meaning for excess, hindi po ba? Kung saan manggagaling yung UAs.
Artificial kasi.
Yes,
So
Your
saan po
Honor.
papasok yung excess sa sources of financing? Tama po kayo, yung panggagalingan ng excess ay identified, hindi po ba?
Tama po, Your Honor.
Pag nagka-excess, dun siya matitrigger.
Tama po, Your Honor.
Post-enactment already. Hindi po ba?
Yes,
At ang
Your Honor.
pag-release niya is also post-enactment. Hindi po ba?
Yes, Your Honor. It will be the execution.
That's where congressional discretion in the argument of the Erice petition becomes discretionary. I mean, congressional discretion is surrendered to the executive department. It is now the executive department, according to the Erice petition, that is now exercising where to spend the excess funds.
Your Honor.
Hindi po ba?
Hindi po ganoon ang posisyon ng respondents sapagkat pag po pinasa ng Congress sa GAA, ito po ay mga na-identify na rin nila na purposes, na programs, in-identify na din po ang specific amounts. Ang hindi
Except
na
the
lamang
excess, kasi nga hindi nyo alam eh.
po. Opo. So,
Hindi po ba? So pag nagkaroon ng excess, doon lang malalaman how much. And yung excess na yan, malaking problema po yan. Kasi at the time of enactment, hindi pa yan present. Hindi po ba? So yung discretion ng Congress to determine how much should be appropriated for a particular government activity is not there. Contrary to what the Constitution provides.
Your Honor, if I may,
Sure, Madam Sol.
if I may clarify,
I'm sorry kung medyo
I understand
emotional po
po.
tayo kasi talagang matindi po ang hate ko sa UAs.
Naintindihan po natin at pare-pareho po tayong
Ihuwas po talaga yan sa akin. I really hate unprogrammed appropriations.
so, Your Honor,
And I'm sure many of our fellow Filipinos feel the same way.
Yes.
opo.
Please,
Opo.
Soljen, I'm sorry.
Tama naman po iyon. Ang posisyon lamang po ng government ay maigi po ngayong panahon na ito na ang composition ng Supreme Court ay maalam, matalas sa economics. Subalit ang posisyon po ng government ay if there are functions that are lodged in the different and co-equal branches of government, then the limits to those powers should also be defined by the Constitution. And that is what we are saying, that based on the textually demonstrable
Sabi niyo to.
requirements for the budget, which the respondents are acknowledging that there are limits. They are not unbounded power, but it is our very respectful submission that if the judiciary will be the one to give the guardrails or what should be how the budget should be implemented, I most respectfully proffer the position of the respondents
Point of
that
order,
that
point of
will
order.
make the judiciary a super branch and not a co-equal branch, if I may.
We will never be that, Madam Soljen. Kaya po tayo nag-i-hearing ngayon, merong petition na hinabla ang mga petitioners. And it's our constitutional duty to hear these cases. And we have, in fact, constitutional jurisdiction over these cases on the basis of our expanded power of judicial review. Anyway, going back to my slides po,
Doon tayo
Madam
sa ano
Soljen.
issue. Huwag na sa
Next
drama.
slide, please. So sa ngayon, ang ating GAA ay ganyan ang itsura. Merong total expenditure programs at naka-chain doon, nakatali yung unprogrammed appropriations.
And tax revenue collection.
So there are those three triggers, Madam Soljen. Yung excess non-tax revenues, new revenue measures, at yung AFPs, approved loans for foreign assisted projects.
So,
And
kapag
just to
may binigay ang JICA, for example, saan napupunta? Saan program?
Of our constitutional framework on budget,
Sa bulsa nila.
espasyo sa General Appropriations Act. They are riders because they are not or they do not provide for
Excess non-tax revenue. Yan yung PhilHealth natin, yung kinuha ng PhilHealth natin, PDIC.
sino ang pwedeng mag-release,
Oh.
whether it is the President or
DBM.
his secretaries in DBM, etc., etc. So yun po ang aking pananaw kung bakit ang UA, if contained in the
Abused kasi yan,
GAA, ay rider.
Rider.
At yung pong inyong mga sinasabing triggers, yung tatlong yan, excess non-tax, new revenue measures, approved loans, very clear po sa ating limang amici, kahit po si Congressman Salceda nagsasabi mismo, itong mga UA na ito ay risky.
Whiskey, maleta.
Ang position nga po ni former Congressman Salceda, dagdagan ang mga guardrails.
Maleta.
Kasi nga po, talagang nakita na yung mga risk for misuse.
DDS ata mga to. Sabi na, uy mga DDS, ba't may maleta dyan?
This unconstitutional framework where you have UAs chained to the General Appropriations Act, hindi po makasya sa isang maleta eh.
Hindi talaga.
Several maletas. Kaya po ang dapat gawin natin dyan ay to cut off those chains
So,
with a chainsaw, hindi lang knife. Kasi hindi po
doon lang tayo sa program. Kinukulang na nga yung program funds eh. Tapos inuuna pa yung unprogram funds.
require a chainsaw to cut off
Not to
those.
mention, kunin yung PhilHealth natin, PDIC, tapos ilalagay sa unprogram na proyekto kuno nila.
May I respond?
Yes, please.
May I clarify that what amicus former Congressman Joey Salceda, if my understanding is correct, is that he agrees that there should be guardrails, and that's why he included in his presentation the bills that he has authored, which are in the House and also in the Senate, because his solution.
Actually, yes. Pwede, ayan, malinaw na sa atin lahat itong nangyari dito sa ating budget. Kumbaga, ginagawa nilang gatasan yung program appropriation. Yun ang program UNA. Itong si Associate Justice Hernando, ayaw niya yung UA kasi nga nakita natin dito post nga hindi sila makasagot direkta kung bakit kinakailangan nilang unahin yung ilagay yung excess artificial surplus. Yan, kunwari may surplus tayo, pinilit ni Rectong kunin sa PhilHealth. Tapos kung bakit kailangan ilagay nila sa unprogram appropriations sa halip na ilagay nila doon sa deficit ng program appropriations. So tinanong kanina kung sino ba ang namimili kung saan ilagay ito, sa unprogram o sa program. Hindi nila masagot. Kasi ang totoo niya namimili, walang iba kundi yung presidente. Pwede na accountable lang dito, DBM. Presidente ang malinaw na malinaw.